Hi, it's Laura, creator and narrator of the Class of 74, the soap opera, podcast. It's a teenage soap opera about kids going to high school, 1971 to 1974. I was one of those kids. I'm a period piece, as is the show, and it's an ongoing soap opera. Every week, we do at least a half-hour episode, and it's an ongoing story. Okay, so it may be about 1971 when school starts on our first day, but it's also because I'm writing it in real time. There's a lot that will resonate with you about stuff that's going on now. For example, in this last episode, I had something about when President Nixon detached the dollar from gold, he was abandoning the gold standard. But it was just temporary. It was just going to be temporary. And then we're going to go back on the gold standard. Well, that's a funny moment because we never did, right? Stuff like that. So while I'm writing about what happened in those days, I'm also writing about what's going on in these days. I started this because my class met for its 50th reunion. This is a class of 74 from Darien High School. And I was known in high school for stopping parties to read a story I had written. I was a real pain in the ass, in other words. And at our reunion, I really wished I could have done that again, written a story and read it to amuse them, all my friends. And I couldn't because no one could even hear me at the reunion because of my voice. I call this my ventilator voice. In 2015, I was on my way to the airport and a drunk driver came shooting out of the Heroes Tunnel in Hamden on the Merritt Parkway and hit me head on. And I woke up like a month later. And this is the voice that one gets when you're on a ventilator too long. But listen, I'm not complaining. Not only do I have a voice at all, but I'm alive, which was a miracle. And by the way, my class had a prayer chain for me after that accident. So, I mean, they're even more special than you know. When I came home from my reunion, I was complaining that no one could hear me because of my voice. And my other half said, well, why don't you try telling a story in a podcast for them to amuse them, entertain them. And you can use a microphone. So then it doesn't matter that your voice is not what it was. So I did. So I started, and we started this podcast. And in the beginning, I had a lot of my classmates were listening and subscribing. I had to teach them what a podcast was, some of them. A lot of them knew, but some of them didn't. And they were listening. And then I was picking up listeners, not just from around the country, but around the world. Wasn't that interesting? Before my accident, writing and book publishing has been my life. And running around the world and promoting my books and on radio and TV and all of that was something that I really enjoyed doing. But most of all, it was the writing of the novels that I loved. Living in my own head, making up stories, and getting them down on paper to share with other people. After my accident, I couldn't write fiction anymore. The cognitive damage in my head was as such that I just couldn't get that mental musculature I used to have to be able to hold a whole novel in my head. And it really left me very blue. So when I found that I could write these half-hour episodes of Class of 74, I was over the moon. I mean, you have no idea. My whole life has been writing. And suddenly it was being given back to me. So I was ecstatic. And now we're entering episode 25, that we're entering the last of the first season. And I needed to make a decision. Do I want to continue doing this? Or do I want to try to write a novel again? I really can't do both. So I'm going to give it a shot. But if I do it, you see, it's my profession then, right? Season 2 means this is what I do, right? And so to do that, I need to have a way of making income from the podcast so I can deduct the expenses off my taxes, right? Okay, so what the idea of this is the Clubhouse. For $5 a month, you sign up, and that means once a week, after every episode airs, you can come to a live event in here with me and tell me whatever you want. Tell me the parts you liked, the parts you hated. Ask questions about why did I write about this? Why did I write about that? Whatever you want. And we'll do that 4 times, well, usually, whenever the episodes come out, which is usually once a week. That's what we're going to try and do. So that's what your membership gets you. And then it will also get you a couple of special episodes that are from a different character's point of view than the main protagonist you're all used to, Cynthia. And those are sort of interesting, if I do say so myself. And only you will get them. They will air here. You would come to your podcast, your Patreon page, our Clubhouse. You would come in and you can get those episodes because they won't be available anywhere else in the world. And then I'm going to start archiving all of the research stuff that I'm coming across, right? That you might find very amusing. Give you links like Chrissy Everett's, first championship, when I keep talking about when Chrissy Everett was playing for the first time at Forest Hills, as a 16-year-old. So that it's fun to watch those, 1 or 2 of the matches if you want. Or if you want to see what a bottle top looked like, meaning we only had bottle caps. We didn't have screw top bottles in those days. So if you had an open soda, there was a weird bottle thing you had to use. So you can see what that looks like and just remember. Or if you're somebody's grandkid who's tuning in to see what it is that Gramps and Nana were up to in their ill-spent youth, you can see all this stuff, what it was and how it worked and what the world was like. And so you can walk around in there. You'll be able to come in your Clubhouse anytime, 24 hours a day. And you're always able to leave messages for me that I will get. And as I say, then once a week, you'll be able to come in and see me and talk to me live. Okay? I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I'll get some income so I can put all these receipts in for my taxes for this year, okay? And next year. And also, it'll let me know, do you want me to write a second season? And if so, what do you want to see in it? Okay? So that's it. So you sign up here, and I'll see you again here. I've got to redo this video because this is just me before I'm running downstairs to watch the Buffalo Bills lose probably today. And it's not, and look at my studio. I haven't even put it together yet. So I wanted to get the page up though. So this is what you're stuck with. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to the podcast. And thank you for joining the Detention Club. I'll see you every week.